Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is how to change your appearance with the law of attraction or with using your mind and with nothing else. This doesn't require money. This requires absolutely nothing other than you, yourself, and the energy of this universe, which is all around anyway. So it's all free. And this is how to change your appearance using that, or how to change your physical reality. The information that I'm going to give you guys in this video works with anything. It can work with growing your hair, getting bigger eyes, losing weight. It can literally be used for pretty much anything. So we're gonna have a little disclaimer in here talking about why this works so that you guys really understand this. And this can really be used in manifestation or anything, but we're gonna focus on how to change your appearance with the law of attraction. So the reason why this works is because if you look down into the molecular structure of our entire universe, if you zoom in so far, there's actually no solid particles in our world. And so this means that everything is energy, everything around here, no matter what feels physical or what feels like it's a solid object, it really isn't, because when you zoom into it so far, it's literally made up of energy when you get down to it. And so everything's taking on a certain energy because of its certain vibrational frequency. Because it's vibrating in a certain way creates its sort of structure and creates a more solid particle or creates a liquid or creates a gas. And so anything that can transmute energy can actually change the physical structure of things. If you think about it, our digestive system, when we put food into our bodies, it digests it, breaks it down, and transmutes it into energy. We're literally energy transmuters. Our mind does this on an unconscious level and a conscious level all of the time, and this is how we're creating our reality in front of us. And a lot of things are actually unconscious for us, which is why you can't just go look at your cat and turn it into a butterfly, though this is something that can actually be possible, and there's lots of reasons why this can be possible when you look at the actual structure of our universe. But we're so conditioned and raised to believe that we live in this physical, material reality that is solid and cannot be physically changed unless you go and take a sledgehammer to your table and actually change it without the use of the mind. But with the knowledge that we have now is you can actually use your mind for this. Sure, it takes a lot of practice and breaking down old belief structures in order to do something like this. Back in the day, they said that the way that the pyramids were actually made was by sound, using sound waves and vibrations of the voice to actually move humongous blocks of rock and making a pyramid in that way by just using the sound of the voice. And so this is how vibrations can move certain objects, do certain things. There's lots of wild, crazy stories that are out there, but this video is not about that. So we're going to go into kind of how the law of attraction or using your mind and your brain power and transmuting energy can actually change your appearance for you. Lots of us are very critical about the way we look, and we wish that we were thicker in this area, or our hair was a bit longer or thicker, or that our eyes were a bit bigger, or that we just had a more attractive appearance. And so we also do know that in order to be more attractive, usually confident people are naturally more attractive because you have bad days or good days. For example, when you're having a bad day, usually people can actually just pick up on it or sense it within you, or just take a gander at the way that you're looking and see that you're not in the best mood. And that technically can be less attractive because, you're probably slouched over, or you're not really smiling anymore. Your eyes don't have this glow to them like they might usually. So this really goes to show that your mindset and the way that you're feeling will create lots of physical kind of expression in your outer appearance and in the physical material world that people can see. And so when you're having a good day, there's lots of times where people will all of a sudden stare at you. If you're having a happy or good day, you'll notice you're getting a lot more looks from people. People are turning their heads wondering, who is this person? They look very enticing. And you probably know that if you're walking down the street, usually your eyes might be drawn to those people that just have this sort of magnetic vibration where you just can't take your eyes off them because they look like they're a fun person. They have this good glowing energy about them. And this is because on the inside, they're feeling confident, they're feeling good. That feel-good energy is a vibration and will physically start to change your appearance. And again, we do live in a universe that is also ruled by time. And so when you start to do this, sometimes it takes a little while for, real huge physical change to start to take place, but you will notice it right away. You will notice it overnight if you decide to change your energetic frequency. You will notice that it starts to begin to change your outer appearance. And so if you're constantly feeling good and constantly feeling confident and going about your life in this way, you'll notice physical changes starting to take place. For example, your eyes do become dilated when you're in love or when you're happy, and so your eyes will naturally become bigger when you're happier, which is a very attractive quality, is to have big eyes. And usually when people are sad, they tend to have droopy eyes, they begin to droop, all this sorts of stuff. So the way that you're feeling does actually change your outer appearance. And it also changes the way that your hair grows, stuff like this. We do know that when people are naturally in a stressful environment, they can tend to lose their hair, or their hair can get dull and start to turn gray prematurely, all this kind of stuff. And so when you're feeling good, your hair will naturally start to grow really long and become a lot thicker than it normally would be if you're happier. And so lots of physical changes do take place when you're happier. Even bone structure can start to change as well, though bone structure is technically a more solid thing based on our conditioned beliefs, and so usually those things take a lot longer to change, but they do actually change, especially if you break down your belief structure of thinking that you are such a physical being that cannot be malleable in any way. Trust me, you are completely malleable, and this is something that can actually happen because of the fact that if you look down in towards anything, it is all just energy at the end of the day. We're just very condensed energy. When there's a physical object that is energy, that's very condensed. And so sure, we're condensed, takes a lot longer to maybe change a condensed object, but it is still changeable. We're still malleable beings living in an energetic world that is ruled by vibration and frequency. The highest frequency in the world is love, which is why eyes dilate, they get bigger when you're in love, all these types of things. And so how to change your appearance with the law of attraction. This is a long intro, but this is kind of just explaining how it works. So let's get into more of this video starting now. All right, so the first thing that you guys want to do if you're really keen on changing your appearance or changing anything about the way that you look, whether it's a small thing or a big thing. And I do want to say that everyone is beautiful, and even just having a confident outlook about yourself and being positive will change you for the better. And this isn't to say that I encourage you completely changing everything about yourself, but if that's something that you really want, well, maybe you can try it. But I personally do want to put a little disclaimer in here. I don't think everyone needs to go out and change their appearance. I don't think that there's people that are more or less attractive, but it is a natural thing that we are gravitating towards more light, enticing magnetic energy, which is usually of a higher vibration. We're naturally attracted to those that have a higher vibration than us. So now getting into this. So if you guys want to change your appearance in any type of way, the first thing that you guys should do is try to get into a happy mindset. Anything that makes you excited or happy or in love, because unconditional love is the highest vibration on this planet. And so if you guys can unconditionally love yourselves, even in the state that you currently are, even if you're critical about yourself right now, if you can find a reason to unconditionally love yourself, that will bring you to the highest vibration, and naturally your appearance will change because of this. A lot of people tend to think that if you start to unconditionally love yourself in the state that you're currently in, that you're just going to be stuck in that state because you're now enjoying that state and you won't want to self-improve. Naturally, sure, I can see why you guys would think that way, but it's so contradictory, because if you start to naturally, unconditionally love yourself in the current state that you are in, your body will then start to reflect that of a higher vibration, because you are now becoming a higher vibration and you're vibrating this frequency that is of the highest state. And naturally your body will then have to start to reflect that new vibration. If you send a vibration into any object, and for example, water, because you can actually physically see quickly how water can change based on vibration. If you zoom into water, it'll naturally start to flow in a different way when you change the frequency that's going through it. It will vibrate in a different way. There'll be different patterns going through it. If you also take water and you crystallize it, after giving it certain affirmations, just like in Dr. Emoto's water experiment, you will get different shaped kind of like crystalline snowflake looking structures And this is why snowflakes exist in different shapes and different forms. When you're vibrating at a different frequency, you will physically change your molecular structure. And since we're made up of mostly water anyway, you will naturally start to change the crystalline structures that are occurring in your body if you change your frequency. So a lot of times people stay the same, or they get lower and lower when you're self-criticizing yourself. If you're looking in the mirror and saying, oh, I hate that my body looks this way, you're actually bringing your vibration lower, and you're now getting into a permanent state of feeling low about your body, and your body will reflect that, because that is the energy and the frequency that you're emitting from your body. And so the only way to change your body is to then start to feel good, which is then it also explains why when people start to exercise, they start to feel a bit better about themselves. It releases good hormones. You start to look in the mirror, and knowing that you're doing something good for your body changes your vibrational frequency, and therefore actually changes your body as well. Again, exercise is known to be good for you, but then also it does change your mindset, which also then is on top of that good for you again. So people who exercise are naturally people that can have a bit more of an attractive look to them, because it boosts your confidence for many reasons. And I'm sure you guys know what those reasons are, and if you don't, go and Google them, but there's lots of reasons why these things change your vibrational frequency and then therefore make you more attractive. Also, another thing that you can look at is when you're changing your vibrational frequency, you're changing your thought patterns, you're actually creating new peptides in your brain. So if you guys don't know what peptides are, they're like little chemicals that get released in your brain every time you have a thought. And the thoughts that you have most often are the peptides that are released more often. And so your cells will naturally absorb the peptides that your brain is releasing. And your cells, if they're so used to a certain peptide being constantly created, so for example, if you're looking in the mirror, always thinking negative thoughts about your body, you're creating those peptides, and your cells will actually create more receptor sites on them to receive that certain peptide, because it's so used to receiving it. And so first, when you start to change your thought patterns to then a good thought, it might feel foreign because of the fact that your cells have so few or no receptor sites for those peptides, because it's such a rare thought for you to think. And so at first it'll feel weird. It might feel foreign. You might not even believe yourself when you start to think positively about your body. And that's normal. It's because those cells don't yet have the receptor sites to receive those peptides. It could feel a bit foreign at first. But as long as you continue thinking these good thoughts, your cells will then start to create the receptor sites on them in order to receive that new peptide and that new vibration. You'll start to actually sink in. It starts to feel normal. It starts to feel correct. And this is also why when you first get introduced to a new idea, it can seem very foreign at first. Your brain's creating peptides that your cells aren't used to receiving, and your cells are like, I don't know what that is. I don't have a receptor site for it. But then it'll start to create it if you start to release those peptides more often. Your cells will be like, okay, well, I need my peptides, so I'm going to create a receptor site to actually receive this new type of peptide, which then correlates into your body, because now your cells are absorbing a new energy, a new frequency from your mind and from your brain, and therefore your cells will start to vibrate in a different way. They'll start to reorganize themselves in your body and create a new physical appearance for you. And this is why naturally when people are happier, they have this glow about them. They have this magnetic, attractive quality about them. And sometimes you can even be attracted to somebody, maybe you're not even physically, they're not your type of person. Let's just put this as an example. Maybe you run into somebody who's not your type, and for some reason you're so attracted to them and you're like, I don't know why. It's because this person has this magnetic quality. It's this vibration that naturally attracts people because of the vibration that they're emitting. It's something that people want. It's something that they don't know why you're drawn to it, but unconsciously you're drawn to anything that makes you feel good. And when you're releasing those hormones and this kind of like vibration about you that is a good feel vibration, people naturally are drawn towards you. And so if you want to be more attractive to attract a specific partner, or if you want to be more attractive just to feel good about yourself, it's all about feeling good first, and it actually starts to reflect on the outside. Everything begins on the inside first and then reflects on your outer world and your outer reality. So as above, so below. As below, so above, all those types of things. So this is why that's such a famous quote by Thoth, if you guys know what that is. So anything that's happening on the inside will reflect on the outside, and anything that's happening on the outside is a reflection of what's happening on the inside. And so naturally, you can change your physical appearance by your thoughts and your thinking patterns. So if you guys are really wanting to change the way you look, I really recommend starting to feel really good about yourself. And sometimes that's a hard journey. I understand that that's one of the hardest things to do, but really just looking in the mirror, if you have time or if you're getting ready in the morning, and just giving yourself beautiful, affirming thoughts. Again, they might feel foreign at first because your cells maybe aren't used to receiving these types of peptides that your brain is now making with these new thoughts, but it'll start to become more natural, and your cells, again, will build these new receptor sites to receive these new peptides that your brain's creating about positive thinking. And then naturally, you're going to start to become more positive about yourself. Naturally, you're going to start to love yourself more. And right when you get to that unconditional loving state, you will notice your physical body is making massive changes by this time. Even when you first start out, you can start to see huge change even when you wake up and just decide, I'm going to feel good about myself. A huge thing also is like, you'll notice that when you put on something that you really like to wear, something that makes you feel good, something that reflects who you are, you'll notice that your confidence level is increased. And you'll probably notice a lot more people are looking at you and are observing you. And it's not because maybe you're wearing something totally different. It's because of the fact that you feel so good in this, and people are magneting towards that energy, if that makes sense. Magneting is probably not a word. I don't know, but it is now. You guys know what I mean. And so you'll notice that if you put on something that makes you feel good, you're going to release these hormones and these peptides in your brain that are then received by your cells. They're increasing your vibration. More people are going to start to look at you. And as you're increasing your vibration, again, your physical appearance will start to change. And you don't necessarily need to focus so hard on doing one certain thing, but you can as well. But just feeling good is the main thing that will change your entire appearance and your entire energy. This will change your whole body, is to start thinking really good and having an unconditional love for yourself. But if you're wanting to focus on a specific thing, for example, hair growth or weight loss or even booty gains or whatever you guys are into, if you want bigger lips, bigger eyes, things like this, you can focus on these certain things, but giving yourself affirmations of, I have really long hair, my hair grows very fast and very thick. That's something that you're wanting. Saying those affirmations will then create these peptides in your brain that release certain hormones that will actually create this for you. And so getting rid of stress or getting rid of any negative affirming thoughts, if you're thinking that your hair grows slow and it's thin and brittle and you're just wishing for longer hair and trying all these products with no noticeable difference, like, you guys are probably going to be stuck in your same hair cycle because of the fact that you're affirming to yourself and constantly looking in the mirror thinking that your hair grows slow, wishing that it would grow faster. It doesn't matter how much you wish something would happen, is if you're looking at yourself and thinking and feeling like your hair isn't growing, or looking at your hair and being like, I don't notice a difference in it. You're affirming to yourself, and your brain is then creating peptides in your mind that reflect that certain thought, then again are absorbing into your cells, the cells of your hair, and then creating that very same experience for you. And so if you guys want to create the change, it's affirming to yourself the thing that you actually want. So if you're wanting to grow hair or lose weight, you can use this for anything. I really want to stress that. I know I'm giving very specific examples in here, but you can use this for anything. You can use this for growing your nails longer or stronger, or losing weight like I was saying, or bigger eyes, whatever you guys are wanting. If you guys are wanting to go to the gym and actually gain muscle instead of constantly working out and feeling like you're getting thinner and thinner, if you actually want to gain muscle or do these certain things, you can do anything with this. I know, again, I'm using certain examples, but you can replace these words with anything and do the same thing. So it's about affirming to yourself the thing that you do actually want. Like, my hair is so thick and grows so fast and healthy. Just affirming that will again create these peptides in your brain that are again absorbed by your cells and create that experience for you. And again, getting rid of stress in your life is a huge thing as well, because stress creates the peptides of stress, gets absorbed by your cells, and stress, as we know, is a natural thing that de-ages somebody or puts your body into a fight or flight mode, where you're naturally wanting to consume a lot of food or absolutely consume nothing. Or again, everyone's body is different. Sometimes we overconsume or sometimes we underconsume, and we're wondering why our body is reflecting this of that we don't want. Or your hair starts to age and get brittle, your skin starts to age and get brittle, or you get acne breakouts, for example. This is natural when you're having a lot of stress in your life. So getting rid of stress is such an important thing in this, and making yourself feel good. So making yourself feel positive, affirming to yourself the things that you do actually want, and focusing on how good it is, even if it feels fake at first. You are training your mind to think in a new way and create new peptides, and you're training your cells to then absorb these newer peptides that then reflect this new vibration and this new thought. Again, it will feel foreign at first, but it will start to feel normal as your cells start to create these new receptor sites to absorb this new frequency and this new energy and this new thought, and then create your physical reality changes that you want to incur in your life. And you can use this for anything. You don't even have to use this for your appearance. If you're wanting to create something in your life, like money, for example, gaining more money, you can use it for that as well. If your cells are now absorbing this new frequency, you're going to attract to yourself the experiences that reflect this new frequency. And so if you step into the frequency of wanting more money, you can do that by having affirming thoughts of money comes to me so easily. Your cells will again start reflecting this new vibration because the new peptides that you're creating, it'll then get absorbed. And now you're literally like a magnet attracting to you what you want. Magnets exist all over our planet. We know that things attract the thing that it's like the resonant frequency of that thing. And so if you're a resonant frequency of I attract money so easily, you're going to start receiving money so easily. And so this goes with appearance, law of attraction, absolutely anything in your life. So that's all I have to say in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give me a really big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. If you guys have any more comments or questions about this, please leave them in the comment box down below and I will try to get back to them. So thank you guys so much for being here. Love you guys so much. Bye.